I was on the bus on the way to work at 7 in the morning. As we were turning a corner, the bus stopped suddenly in the middle of the street. I looked to my right, and there was a man beating the crap out of another man in the middle of the street. The bus driver stood up and was about to go out there to help. Then he made eye contact with me and pointed to the bus doorway since I was the closest to it, signaling that I should help the man when the doors opened. I nodded, and the bus driver went back to the driver's seat to hit the button. When the doors opened, everyone in the bus hit the floor, and the bus driver froze, looking terrified. I had my headphones on and didn't know what was going on, so I looked over at the guy, just in time to watch him struggling with a stranger over a gun. Then he shot the stranger in the chest. That was the second gunshot. I never heard the first one because of the music in my headphones. Then a second person ran up and tried to take the gun. They struggled as well, and then that guy was shot too. I stood there shocked, watching, while everyone else was on the floor. The guy with the gun started to run, and as he did, he looked at the bus, and then me, and made eye contact. He pointed the gun right at me and started shooting. The bus driver took off and sped around a corner, then stopped a couple blocks away. I called into work and told them what had happened and that I was not coming to work. Then I called my girlfriend, still in shock, and told her everything. She was concerned but told me to go back. I realized I had to because the cops needed my statement, and maybe I could help the 3 people who had been shot. I ran back to the scene, and it was already surrounded by tape, cop cars, and ambulances. I watched the victims be loaded into ambulances, and bummed a smoke from a fellow witness as I looked for a police officer to tell them I had seen everything. Eventually I found one, and she ushered me through the crime scene into a nearby building lobby, where 30 or so other witnesses had been rounded up. I was in shock and shaking like a leaf, and I didn't even know it. Then I was called to have my statement taken, and a policewoman drove me to my grandma's house, where my family was waiting for me. I spent the rest of the day yelling at the TV because the news reporters were getting the story wrong. I was there, so I knew how it really went down. The second man shot survived, the first man passed away. It was a really horrible ordeal for me. It's not an easy thing to watch someone die. The man responsible was caught later that night. It just shows you things can happen really fast.